Good morning. I only see one person, although that we've got several people in here. Mr. Mack?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, are you here? Which case are you here for?
It's Calvin Walls. It was originally set for 250, but I got an email from Amanda. She set it for 9:30, and that's why we're here.
No. Okay. So it's very hard to do individual hearings on Zoom that are 10 minutes long. It'll take us 10 minutes to log in and then get on YouTube and all that stuff.
Yes.
It's still at 250. We just set an entire day on Zoom and we
were showing.
your Facebook run. So you are set at 250 with Judge Kelly will be your judge today.
Okay. And I have another question. I have my client here and I have the oath and the proof. Can he get that notarized right now and get that sent in?
No, you can't sign an oath before the judge has signed an order and deemed him qualified. And you can't sign your testimony until you've actually testified. So I'm going to put you guys back in the waiting room. I had to let everybody in because I wasn't sure who was which person, but I think I see Miss Flory here and it looks like her client is behind her. So I'm going to take her first. Mr. Mack, if you have any other questions,
Notary.
Miss Clay or Amanda call and they can assist you.
Okay.
Click on there.
All right, Mr. Price. Okay, and now Miss Flory has. Yes. Okay.
I have the notary
In
present.
the waiting room. And then I've got a Sheila Swan and a Michael Frederick. Miss Flory, do either of those have anything to do with your hearing?
They do not.
Okay, I'm going to put them in the waiting room. And good morning. I apologize for being a few minutes late. I'm actually logged in on Judge Kelly's Zoom today because we had to switch some hearings. She's hearing our mental health. And we are live streaming on YouTube today, Ms. Flory. So I know sometimes that we ask questions about where people live and give their addresses, but while I need you to meet your burden under Texas law, I hope that you will not do that for the safety of your client and the decedent's assets as well. Now it looks like, is there a notary in the room with you?
There is.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello, how are you? What's your name?
Maria. Maria.
I'm guessing you've never signed in a witness. So if you want to repeat after me to our witness, and if you'll please raise your right hand and you'll ask her if she swears to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help her God.
Okay, do you swear to tell the truth and only the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Go ahead, Miss Lori.
Thank you. Please state your name.
Kathleen Morrisroe?
And Ms. Morrisroe, are you here to probate the will of your father,
Yes.
James Morrisroe?
Yes.
And your father was a resident of Tarrant County, Texas at the time of his death?
Yes.
And he died on March 13th, 2020?
Yes.
And to the best of your knowledge, he has signed a will which you have filed with the court, correct?
Yes.
And I'm showing you a file marked copy of that will and ask you, do you recognize your father's signature on that will?
Yes, I do.
And that will was never revoked, correct?
No.
And your father was not married, nor was he divorced after the date of that will, correct?
No.
And there were no child born or adopted after the date of that will, correct?
No.
The
Okay,
will
I'm gonna stop you, Miss Flory. You're saying, is that correct? And she continues to say no for the last three
I'm
questions.
sorry.
So I'm gonna ask you, number one, it looks like you might be reading from something that if you won't read, but actually answer her questions. And then also those questions that are kind of the double negatives, if you'll make sure that those are answered.
All right, thank you, Judge. I apologize. Was there any
I'm
child
guessing we
born
had a
after
little-
the date of the will?
No.
Was your father married or divorced after the date of the will?
No.
And the will names you as executrix of the estate, correct?
Yes.
Have you ever been convicted of a felony or a crime of moral turpitude?
No.
Are you a resident of the state of Texas?
Yes.
Are you over the age of 18?
Yes.
Have you ever been declared incapacitated by a court of law?
No.
We've passed the witness, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Morrisseau, were you in possession of the original will?
Yes.
Okay, and you may have to come closer, but I have, well, let me ask you this. Did you deliver it to Ms. Flory?
Did you deliver the original will to me?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and it's your understanding she filed it with the court?
Yes.
Okay, I believe I have what Ms. Flory filed that I believe to be the original. I'm going to show you several pages of it, and if you'll let me know if it's the original you delivered to Miss Flory. This is the first page. And is that your father's signature?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And I'll represent to you that it's signed on each page in blue ink. And this is page 4.
Yes, that's his signature.
Okay. And the last page.
And yes, that is his signature as well.
And does that appear to be the original that you gave to Miss Flory?
Yes, it does.
All right, thank you. I will find that James Patrick Morris, is it Morris Rowe?
Yes.
Was a resident of Tarrant County when he passed away, and you have proved up his will in accordance with Texas law. I'll admit his will to probate, and I'll find you a proper person to serve as independent executrix. So, Ms. Morrisseau, if you'll raise your right hand one more time. Do you swear or affirm that you will faithfully execute the duties of independent executrix of the will and the estate of James Patrick Morrisseau?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, you're going to sign your oath and testimony. Ms. Flory will file that with the court, and then she'll be able to receive the letters. Ms. Flory, you're going to receive an email with a copy of the order as well as some information for Ms. Morrisseau. Ms. Morrisseau, that's going to tell you about being an independent executrix, but I trust you're going to continue to work with Ms. Flory.
Yes, I will.
All
And
right.
Judge, may my notary acknowledge the proof of death and the oath before I file it? Or will you
Yes, I
sign
hope she
those?
will.
when they- Okay, the notary will take care of that.
Yes.
Okay.
And
All
then
right.
How do
Thank
we get the letters? How do I order?
She wants to purchase extra copies, extra letters, so I'll look
Well-
for that email.
Ms. Flory, you can do that with our clerk.
Okay, I'll take care of that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Good morning. If you're joining us on YouTube, welcome to Probate Court number 2. I'm Judge Brooke Allen, and this is our morning docket of some will provettes. We thought we would be having in-person hearings, but the Texas Supreme Court and Office of Court Administration did not agree with that, although they had originally said June 1st. So we welcome you to watch these, but you cannot record these or share them. And I'm not seeing our next hearing. Not actually seeing any of our next hearings. Oh. Mr. Price, what estate are you here on?
I have two, Shutter and Bigler, and I just got an email from Amanda said that mine was scheduled at 2:30 or 2:20 and 2:30, but the last email I had is you're scheduled for 9:30. So I don't know. We can
Okay,
come.
no, you're still at 2:30. I don't know how Amanda's setting those up, but you're the second attorney that's told me that, so I'll have to talk to her about that. So if we do an individual Zoom for every single hearing, it will take us 20 minutes to do what, well, in person took us 3 minutes to do.
Yeah.
So we have to set up a Zoom. I usually do them for the morning and then the afternoon. I think Judge Kelly does them for the entire day. So you're still at 2:30. It's just this will be the Zoom that you.
Okay, well, we'll come back.
So I apologize. I'm going to go see, try and make the email more clear, because you're not the only one. I apologize.
Okay, thank you. We'll see you at 2:20.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
And
Price.
that's going to be Shutter at first?
You know, I don't have the afternoon docket with me, but however you scheduled it should be.
I think it's Shutter then Bigler.
And typically, if, you know, one client gets here before the other, it'll be Judge Kelly this afternoon. She'll take whatever you're ready for.
Okay, thank
We're
you.
just trying to get y'all moved through the court and do the best we can. We had
Yeah,
hoped you'd be here in person today.
well, you know, this is my first one with Tarrant County, so maybe it'll be the worst one. Yeah,
Oh, well, I hope not. I
Yeah,
think
better.
Tarrant County usually does a pretty good job.
yeah, thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, see you this afternoon. or
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. No. Mr. Frederick, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hi, this is Judge Brooke Allen in Probate Court 2. I have, I think, several people in here, but I can't see anyone.
Let's see. You can't, hold on.
And I need to know what hearings y'all are set for. We're supposed to be the estate of Raymond Henry Webb.
True, yes.
Ma'am, Miss Swan, what estate are you here for? You're gonna have to unmute yourself because it's not allowing me to unmute you.
Good, let's see.
Miss Swan, you're gonna have to unmute there you go. Miss Swan, what estate are you here for?
My name is Lisa Wingo Bigler. I'm using my sister Sheila's computer, and
Okay.
I am here for Michael Robert Bigler. Just go down there.
Okay, is that for this afternoon?
No, it's for 9:30 this morning.
No, it's not. You need, who's your attorney?
Kenneth Price.
Okay, give Mr. Price a call. He was just on here with me, and you guys are set this afternoon.
I don't know anything about that. What time this afternoon?
Miss Swan,
Lisa Wingo Bigler.
okay, I'm gonna ask you to call Mr. Price.
Yeah, I will.
All right, thank you. All right, is anybody else here that can hear me? I've got 3 people in here, but I can't see you.
Let's see. I can see you.
Well, okay, is that Carver M is what I see on the screen?
Yes, it's me,
Okay, what estate are you here on?
Raymond Webb.
Okay, do you know your attorney, Michael McClarty?
Yes,
No, do you know where he is?
He should be on because I see his name up there. I mean, he told me he was going to be on.
I don't see his name. I see a Michael Frederick.
Oh, and then I know his secretary is Dee Ponce.
Okay, well, I don't know why they're not on the screen and they're not talking either. So you are the case we're supposed to be taking now.
Yes. He called me this morning just to make sure that I was going to be on. I said, yes.
Okay. You are in the correct place. Welcome to Probate Court number 2. I'm Judge Brooke Allen.
Hi. Hello.
I'm gonna, and it shows Dee Ponce should have video too, but I don't know where the video is. Okay, well, we'll just talk and see if they can get it working because we've got a few more minutes and I don't see the next people in our waiting room, but if we do have the next people in the waiting room, then I'll take them and come back to you.
Okay.
I don't know why
Why they're not on there?
I talked to one of my staff members real quick, and I'll keep an eye to see if they can make this happen.
I just text them, so I'm hoping they'll get back with me.
I'm good, thank you.
I just text the attorney to see if he'll get back to me. Told him that
Okay.
we were on the phone, we were on the video, so I'm hoping he'll get back to me quickly. I think this is great if we could all get it to work together.
Well, there's a lot of shortfalls of Zoom.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm working from home, so this is, helps me quite a
Par
bit.
for the course.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. She says, we see you and the judge. I just can't see her or hear us. They see us, but we can't see them.
right. So they were,
They said, we see you and the judge, just can't see or hear us.
yeah, I hate that.
They're on mute.
Yeah, I hate that we've definitely got to hear them.
Yeah.
So it's important that we see the attorney, but I'm going to put y'all in the waiting room and see if I can take this next person, and then I'll let you back. I will let them know that not only is there a video link, there's also a dial-in link. So if they
Yeah, I said that.
dial in, I should be able to hear them over the phone, even if I can't see them. Of course, I would prefer to see them, but at least I'll be able to see you.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
All
That's
right,
true.
so I'm going to give
Okay.
y'all a little bit of time, and I'm going to put you back in the waiting room.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Can you hear us?
Great. Yes, we've had quite the mess this morning. Which estate are you here on?
This is the estate of Marvin Gerard.
Wonderful.
Are we good then?
Probate court too. All
Good,
right.
Judge.
Let me go on to that case. We've had a lot of technical difficulties and some communication issues, so I'm glad that you guys are here. And we'll get you taken care of. All right. Okay, Mr. Sweet, I'm looking at your hearing letter. Is there a notary with you?
she's sitting in a room just beside us. We're trying to limit the number of people in the room. Does she need to be in here for the actual process?
Well, it's better for her to swear in your witness, but that's okay.
We can get her in here right now.
All right, Ms. Gerard, will you please raise your right hand?
What did
Swear or affirm to tell the, I'm sorry?
how'd you pronounce my last name?
Probably incorrectly. How do you say it?
Gerard.
Oh, I did say Gerard. Gerard, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. So, Ms. Gerard, would you please state your full name for the court?
Felice Jensen Gerard, but I usually use just the J.
Okay. Now, is it true, Ms. Gerard, that your husband, Marvin J. Gerard, died on March 28th, 2020? Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And he died as a resident of Tarrant County. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
And obviously then 4 years have not elapsed since the date of his death. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, I have two documents that have been filed in this matter. We have photocopies of those documents. The first is a document that purports to be your husband's last will and testament. Do you recognize this document as being an identical copy of his last will and testament that has been filed in this proceeding?
Yes.
And then on page 10 of this document, there's a signature that purports to be your husband's signature. Do you recognize that as his signature?
Yes.
Okay. Then there is also a document entitled First Codicil to Last Will and Testament of your husband. Do you recognize this document to be an identical to the original codicil that has been filed in this matter?
Yes.
Okay. And this too contains a signature that purports to be your husband's signature on page 2. Do you recognize that as his signature?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now, is it true, Ms. Gerard, that your husband never did revoke the will or the codicil at any time, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And is it true that a necessity exists for the administration of your husband's estate?
Yes.
Is it true there were no children born to or adopted by your husband after the date he signed the first will and codicil?
Yes.
Excuse me, the will and first codicil.
Yes.
And is it true that no marriage of your husband was dissolved after the will and first codicil were signed by him?
Yes.
Now, is it also true, Ms. Gerard, that the will and first codicil name you as the independent executor?
Yes.
And we have discussed the qualifications required for you to be able to serve in this capacity. Is that correct?
Yes.
And is it true that you do qualify in every respect to serve as independent executor?
Yes.
You have not been convicted of a felony or any crime of moral turpitude. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you are of sound mind, correct?
Yes.
And finally, Ms. Gerard, is it true the will, neither the will nor the first codicil name the state of Texas, a government agency of the state of Texas, or any charitable organization as a beneficiary? Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Your Honor, I have no further questions. We
Ms.
lost.
Gerard, were you in possession of the original will and first codicil?
Yes, I was.
And did you deliver those to Mr. Sweet?
Yes.
Okay, and it's your understanding he delivered them to the court?
Yes.
Okay, I have what I believe to be the original will and first codicil. I'm going to show those to you and then ask you if you agree that those are the originals. Here's the first page. It's been file marked. And there's some initials at the bottom of the page.
Yes.
I'll represent to you that those initials appear on each page. Page 3, there's some handwriting.
Yes.
So that helps show some of the uniqueness of potentially an original. And I'm going to show you the signature page. Is that Mr. Gerard's signature?
Absolutely.
Okay. This is the last page. Does this appear to be the original will that you delivered to Mr. Sweet?
Yes.
Okay. And the first codicil, again, file marked, and we see those initials at
Yeah.
the bottom of each page. This is only 3 pages long. Is that Mr. Gerard's signature?
Gosh, yes, very distinctive.
Does this appear to be the original that you delivered to Mr. Sweet?
Yes.
All right, thank you. I will find that Marvin Gerard was a resident of Tarrant County when he passed away, and you have proved up his will in accordance with Texas law along with his first codicil, and I'll admit them both to probate, and I'll find you're a proper person to serve as independent executrix. So if you'll raise your right hand one more time. Do you, Felice Gerard, solemnly swear that the writings which have been offered for probate are the last will and testament and first codicil of Marvin Gerard, so far as you know or believe, and will you well and truly perform all the duties of independent executrix of his will, his codicil, and his estate?
Yes, I will.
All right, thank you. You're going to sign your oath and your testimony, and Mr. Sweet will file those with us, and then he can receive the letters. Mr. Sweet, the order will be emailed to you, as well as some information for Ms. Gerard. Ms. Gerard, that will tell you your rights and obligations as an independent executrix, but I trust you're going to continue to work with your attorney.
Thank you.
All right. Thank y'all very much. Have a great day.
Judge, one question.
Yes.
How do we receive the letters? Do we have to go physically pick them up?
Well, you talk to the clerk. You can, because the clerk's office are open, even though our courts seem more restricted. But I believe they'll also mail them to you.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Judge.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay.
I think they're dialing in, if I'm not mistaken.
It says they're trying to connect to audio.
Yeah. hopefully.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
I can, but I don't know who this is.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is Denise Ponce, and I'm standing next to Mike McClarty. Hold on.
Okay.
I don't have to. Judge,
Hello?
you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, we've had our technical issues this morning. I'm sorry I'm holding you up.
It's all right. We had hoped
Is
to be here in person, but the Supreme Court and Office of Court Administration had other plans. So,
well, I can see you fine.
wonderful. All right. Ms. Carberry, will you please raise your right hand? And will you lower your camera if you can, please? There we go. All right. Ms. Carberry, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. McClarty.
Okay, thank you, Judge. Marlene, please state your full name.
Marlene Carberry.
And are you the applicant today with respect to the probate of the written will of Raymond Henry Webb?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did he die on April 1st, 2020 in Arlington, Tarrant County, Texas at the age of 85?
Yes, sir.
And is it also correct that 4 years have obviously not elapsed since the date of his death?
Yes.
And at the time of his death, was he domiciled and did he have a fixed place of residence in Tarrant County?
Yes.
And did he leave a valid written will dated May the 9th, 2018, which was never revoked and which we have filed the original with the court?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And can you identify his signature on the will. I believe it's page 5 of the will.
Yes, sir.
And you're looking at a copy, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you previously seen the original will when you brought it to my office, is that true?
True. Yes.
Okay. And is it also true that there are no changes or corrections at all to the copy you're looking at, that it's identical to the original?
Yes, sir.
Okay. After Mr. Webb executed this will, were any children born or adopted by him?
No.
Okay. And also, after he executed this will, was any marriage ever dissolved by divorce, annulment, or declaration that a marriage is void?
No, sir.
Okay. And is it correct that neither Texas nor any governmental agency of the state is named in the will as a devisee?
No, sir. I mean, yes, sir.
That's not correct?
It's no, it's true. I'm sorry.
And however, the will does have 2 specific bequests for charities named in the will. Is that true?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And is there a necessity to administer Mr. Webb's estate?
Yes.
Okay. And did his will name you to serve without bond or other security as the independent executor?
Yes, sir.
And is it also correct that you're not disqualified by law from serving as the executor and accepting letters testamentary?
Yes, sir.
And you and I have gone over the grounds for disqualification, such as you've never been convicted of a felony, you're over 18, of sound mind, et cetera. Is that true?
True.
Okay. So you would be entitled then to accept letters testamentary if the court appoints you as the independent executor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So are you going to be requesting that the court admit the last will and testament of Raymond Henry Webb today into probate, that it appoints you the independent executor of his estate, and that it issue to you letters testamentary?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Ms. Carberry, how did you know Mr. Webb?
He's a longtime friend. We've known him for several years, 60 years, I guess.
Okay. And you live in Texas?
Yes, I live in Tarrant County.
Okay. Did you have the original will?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
And did you deliver that to your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And it's your understanding he delivered it to the court?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I have what I believe he delivered. I'm going to show it to you, and then I'm going to ask you if you in fact think it's the original will. So here is what's been file marked.
Yes, ma'am. That is.
The first page. And I will represent to you that all the pages are typewritten. And when we get to page 5, is that Mr. Webb's signature?
Yes, ma'am. That's ma'am's signature.
And you had seen his signature just on various things as his friend over the years?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay. And here is the last page.
Mm-hmm.
That appeared to be the original that you delivered to Mr. McClarty?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. I will find that Raymond Henry Webb was a resident of Tarrant County when he passed away, and you have proved up his will in accordance with Texas law. I'll admit his will to probate, and I'll find you a proper person to serve as independent executrix. Carberry, if you'll raise your hand one more time. Do you, Marlene Carberry, solemnly swear that the writing which has been offered for probate is the last will and testament of Raymond Henry Webb, so far as you know or believe? And will you well and truly perform all the duties of independent executrix of his will and his estate?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You're going to sign your oath and testimony, and Mr. McClarty will file that. Mr. McClarty is going to receive the order via email along with some information he'll pass on to you. And that information tells you about your rights and obligations as the independent executrix, but it doesn't substitute for him, and I trust you'll continue to work with him.
Okay, I sure will. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all very much. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
Welcome. Mr. Frederick, I guess you sat through the last hearing. I can't see you or hear you. And I know that you have a 10:50 hearing. I'm going to need to at least see your client, and I'm going to definitely need to hear from you. So if you hopefully can hear me, there is a number you can call in so that I will be able to hear you. But I have to be able to see you as well. And it doesn't look like, oh, you're trying to connect. Mr. Frederick, it looked like you tried to connect to audio, but I still can't hear you, nor can I see you. I was going to take you guys early. I know you're at 10:50. So hopefully that will work out. If y'all can try and reconnect. I'm going to go ahead and put you in the waiting room, and I'll check back on you in just a minute. Mr. Frederick, I still can't see or hear you. Ah. All right. I don't think I can hear you. Okay, what I'm going to ask you to do is on the email that you received, there's also a phone number. So stay with me on video and go ahead and call that number on one of your phones. Oh, maybe this will work. All right, Mr. Frederick?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, great. I can hear and see you. Okay. Let's see. We just had another cancellation, so welcome to Probate Court 2, virtually. We had hoped to see y'all in person, but beyond my control, unfortunately. All right. Where's our notary?
Right here.
Okay. What's our notary's name?
Cynthia Graham.
Okay. Ms. Graham, I'm guessing that you don't typically swear in witnesses. So if you'll just repeat after me, and Ms. Ross, if you will please raise your right hand.
That's you. Yeah.
Oh.
And Ms. Graham, if you'll ask her if she swears to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help her God.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Frederick. You can put your hand down, Ms. Ross.
Would you state your full name, please?
Jane Dingy Johnston.
And Jane, were you married to Don?
Sorry.
Jane, were you married to Don Frederick Johnston for 48 plus years?
Yes.
And did Don die on December the 19th of 2019 in Tarrant County, Texas?
Yes.
And had y'all lived in Tarrant County for the last 40 plus years?
Yes.
And at the time of his death, did he have a will?
Yes.
And there's a document dated July 2nd, 2019 that's been filed with the court. And I'm going to show you a copy of this, which purports to be the last will and testament of Don Frederick Johnston. And do you recognize the signature at the bottom of this will as being Don's signature?
Yes.
And on the self-proving affidavit, do you also recognize that as being Don's signature?
Yes.
And based on your search of the homestead in Don's office, do you believe that this was his last will and testament and there was no further testamentary document?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you had 2 children that were born to this marriage, is that correct?
Yes.
And no child was born to or adopted by Don after the making of this will in July of 2019, is that correct?
Yes.
And y'all got married on June 26th of 1971, and y'all were married at the time of Don's death.
Yes.
And there's no state governmental agency or charitable organization named in that will. Is that true also?
Yes.
Now, Jane, you were named as independent executrix of that will to act independently without bond or any other type of security. And do you understand what your obligations and responsibilities are in winding down Don's estate?
Yes.
Okay. And are you over the age of 18 years and mentally competent to fulfill your duties as executrix of the estate?
Yes.
Okay. And there is a necessity existing for the administration of this estate based on Don's office and closing out his business, and likewise all your personal property, your homestead and other properties. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Johnson, I apologize. I had the wrong order because of the cancellations, and we've had some technical issues today. So I apologize for referring to you as Ms. Ross.
I did hear that. Well, it's like maybe that's what she does.
No, that was not intentional. I apologize.
That's okay.
I do need to ask you a couple of things about qualifications. You still live in Texas?
I'm sorry.
Do you still live here in Texas?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever been convicted of a felony?
No.
Have you ever been adjudicated incompetent?
No.
Okay. And did you have the original will with you? The original will. And did you deliver that to your attorney, Mr. Frederick?
Yes.
Okay. And it's your understanding he delivered it to the court?
Yes.
Okay. Let me show you what I believe to be the original. This is a file mark copy, or a file mark, hopefully the original, and it has initials on it on each page. Those are in black. And everything's typewritten until we get to page 4. And is this Mr. Johnson's signature?
It is.
Okay. And then Page 5 are attestations, nothing on the bottom except for the initials. And page 6. Does this appear to be the original that you delivered to Mr. Frederick?
Yes.
Thank you. I will find that Don Frederick Johnston was a resident of Tarrant County when he passed away, and you have proved up his will in accordance with Texas law. I'll admit his will to probate, and I'll find you're a proper person to serve as independent executrix. So Ms. Johnston, if you'll raise your right hand one more time. Do you, Jane Johnston, solemnly swear that the writing which has been offered for probate is the last will and testament of Don Frederick Johnston, so far as you know or believe, and will you well and truly perform all the duties of independent executrix of his will and his estate?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, you can put your hand down. You're going to sign your oath and testimony. Mr. Frederick will file that with the court, and then you can receive your letters. Mr. Frederick will send you the order as well as some information for Ms. Johnston. Ms. Johnston, that will tell you your rights and obligations as independent executrix, but it doesn't substitute for Mr. Frederick, and I trust you'll work with him.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank y'all. You have a great week.
Thank you,
Thank
Judge.
you.
Huh?